Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, and if you like my content, then you know what to do. Hit the like, the subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you know when videos are coming out. And if you really want to support the channel, then you can hit the join button. Now today, I want to talk about distance energy healing. And you know what it involves, and if it actually works, and all of that. So let's get into that. Okay, distance energy healing. Now, I do find it very interesting when people who do magic users themselves, question distance healing, because the principle is very, very much the same as doing magic on somebody or on something to affect something at a distance. So if we can actually consider distance healing from a variety of different angles. We have a perspective that thoughts are energy. So if we think something, therefore we affect whatever we're thinking about, which is why when you become quite adept in magic, you have to kind of watch your thoughts. And you know, as I said, there's lots of different ways we can look at it. If we look at it from a purely energetic point of view, not just from the idea that thoughts are energy and therefore they affect things in our environment, things in our space, people that we interact with, then we can also view it from the perspective of everything is connected. If we look at everything as being energy, you know, I am just a ball of energy, basically, not really what you see on the camera or on the video. That is our own minds creating this visual perspective or visual idea of what I look like. In fact, what I look like to myself may be completely different to how somebody else sees me. But you know, that's what we see and that's what we recognize as particular things. There's always a question of if two people look at the color red or the color green or the color purple, whatever color it may be, do they see exactly the same thing? Don't really know. I did read not too long back, it was actually in a book on shamanism, Toltec warrior practice specifically. The author was actually talking about the fact that science has discovered that everything beyond our perception, beyond our eyes itself, is all two-dimensional. There's no three dimensions, and there's no shades or colors or anything like that, or tones, what we actually see and perceive. And it's all energy and it's all vibration. So vibrations hit our eyes then transfer data and information to our brain, and our brain interprets it and creates this reality that we see and experience. Well, where was I going with all of this now? I've gone off track again. Basically, we are, as I was saying, we are balls of energy, and that energy connects with everything else. So if you imagine you've got a person and it's just a ball, it looks like an egg actually. It's just this mass of threads and strings of energy, and then from a certain point, usually from midsection roundabout, there may be strands of energy that flow out, and those strands of energy then connect to other things, other bodies, other people, trees, furniture, everything in our surroundings. So we have this mass and thread of energetic lines that just go everywhere and connect with everything. My go-to example for all of this is usually The Matrix, when Neo loses his eyesight and they go into the machine world, and he just sees lines of energy everywhere, connecting everything. That's how I kind of see it. It's very similar to that. So if you consider that we have all of these threads of energies that go everywhere and connect with everything, and every one. If we are doing distance healing, then what we find is that we can reach out to a specific person through those threads of energy, and we can take, or we can pass healing energy onto another person, and that person can be on the other side of the planet. Now, the big difference between hands-on healing and distance healing, I think, is quite obvious, really. When you're doing a hands-on healing, you can physically feel heat from the practitioner's hands. You can physically feel vibrations from sounds or drumming or something like that, depending on the modality of the healing they're actually doing. But there is a physical sensation that happens. As I say, if it's Reiki, for instance, then you'll feel heat from the practitioner's hands, and you can physically feel that, and that gives you some kind of confirmation that something is actually happening. When you're doing distance healing, you don't obviously get that same interaction and those same experiences. The experience is somewhat different, and just like a hands-on healing, you can walk out of a hands-on healing and it feels like nothing actually happened, nothing was done. Other people will have sensations, they will have images, they will have all different things happen to different people. And, so walking out of a hands-on session, feeling like nothing happened, doesn't mean nothing happened. It did. It just means that you didn't feel anything, you didn't sense anything. Your experience was different to somebody else's. With distance healing, the same thing happens. You may come out of a distance healing and feel like nothing happened. You may come out of distance healing in a complete state of awe because you had this experience which was incredibly powerful. However, that can also continue. So even if you didn't feel anything, later on you may sense something happening. You may go through a period of detox for 24 hours, for instance. So the whole thing with energy healing is it is about bringing balance to mind, body, and soul. And how you yourself and how your body and how your mind and how your soul require that balance to happen is what is going to happen. So some people can have a profound experience because that's what they require. Some people have no experience because that's what their body and mind and soul actually requires. They don't, as I say, the experience is completely different for everybody. But what I'm trying to get at is that hands-on healing compared to distance healing, there actually isn't any difference between the two in regards to the actual effects that take place of the balancing of mind, body, and soul. The only difference is that you don't have the physical sensations, the physical experience that you would in a hands-on healing when you're doing a distance healing. But as I said, it's about energy, and for people who practice magic, you might do, let's take something simple like candle magic. You do a candle working, you focus energy into a particular spot, and that energy is sent out to affect whatever you need it to affect. That's at a distance. That's working with energy to affect something at a distance, and this is exactly the same thing. However, as I said, I just find it interesting that a lot of magic users still question things like distance energy healing. A lot don't, but some do. But this is the same thing. You are doing a particular thing in order to affect a person's energy at a distance instead of in your physical space. So there really is no difference between the two. And when it comes to, when I say energy healing, I mean any kind of energy healing. So this specifically can refer to Reiki, because in second degree Reiki, a practitioner is taught how to actually do distance healing. So it is a very specific practice in Reiki. But I've found that you can even do or use specific shamanic healing methods in the same way. It can be done at distance, but more specifically when it comes to journey type work. So if you are doing a shamanic journey for soul retrieval or power intrusions or sorry, anything that requires you to take a shamanic journey in order to find something to bring back to the person in order to balance them, that can be done obviously at a distance, because even if the person is sitting with you, you are still taking a journey into the lower world, the middle world, the upper world, wherever you need to go in order to affect that change, in order to do that work. Something like a cleansing would be a lot different. That type of work needs to be done in person. So whether it's a smoke cleansing, a fire cleansing, whether it's an egg cleansing, a candle cleansing and reading, whatever that may be, it's something that the person needs to be in the physical space of the practitioner, because it's a physical act. You know, if you're doing an egg cleansing, all of these are la limpia. But, you know, as I say, if you're doing like an egg cleansing, for instance, the person needs to have the egg passed over their body in order to absorb the energy. Same with the candle, same with smoke, same with fire, whatever method is being used. But that's a physical item which needs to be passed over the physical body in order to absorb, take out, extract negative energy in order to bring the balance again. So that's a bit different. But as I say, when it comes to things like Reiki or shamanic journeying in order to do whatever needs to be done, those can be done at a distance. When we are doing a shamanic journey for soul retrieval, for instance, as an example, you know, the old traditional method is to have the person with you, and then the shaman takes the journey into the lower world, wherever it may be, finds the soul, coaxes it back, brings it back with them, or it may be a power animal, brings it back with them from that land, from that world, back into this physical reality, into this realm, and then actually blows the soul or the power animal into the client, into the heart, and then usually into the crown of the head. Now that part cannot be done physically. However, I have found that it can be done in the astral plane itself. So what I usually do is I go into my astral temple. From there I can journey into whichever world I need to go to in order to bring back the power animal, soul, etc., whatever work I'm doing. But what I do is I have a healing room as well, where I do my distance healing work. And so I'll go into my astral temple, I'll then go into the healing room, I will call the person into the healing room. Then if it requires a journey, I will then go through a door into the other worlds. I will do the work, I'll bring back whatever needs to be brought back, and I will blow it into the person in that healing room in the astral realm itself. So that is quite possible. I have done it very effectively. So when it comes to that type of work, it can definitely be done as a distance healing. As I say, I can't think of a way. There probably is a way to do a cleansing, some kind of cleansing, smoke, fire, egg, whatever it is, in the astral realm itself, but I can't think of a way. And it really is just one of those things that is best done in person. So basically, you know, when it comes to distance healing, what you need to do is try and think of it in the manner that energy flows everywhere. Energy is connecting everything. And therefore, we can actually affect energy in somebody at a distance from where we are. It doesn't matter how far apart two people are, they are still connected through energy. So a healing can be done at a distance. Really, it really is as simple as that, and it is just as effective as doing a hands-on healing. You know, there is, even I had this idea years and years ago before I actually was attuned to Reiki itself. You know, some people have this idea that distance healing is still effective, but it's not as effective as doing a hands-on, because there isn't that same interaction, that same the energy directly flowing into the body. And it really is just as effective as doing a hands-on. The only difference is you're not going to feel that same heat from the practitioner's hands, which I think creates some confirmation that something is happening and therefore aids in the healing itself. It's a psychological, a headology thing. We have a physical effect, therefore it must be working. But try and remember that if magic can work at a distance, so can healing. It's all energy, it's all flowing energy in a particular direction for a particular purpose, and manipulating that energy in order to bring something into effect. In this case, balance. All right, so that's it. And I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you next week. Have a good one. Cheers for now.